gentlemen. I am Auli Keskinen. I'm a futures researcher. Actually, I'm working as a consultant for Foreca in this project and some other projects as well. And I will tell you about the innovation processes and innovation methods that we were using in trying to find the innovative ideas and trying to create the good services, just taking also into account the problems that we can face ahead. So in one phase we were actually innovating the services, and the other phase was more future related. So we took into account about 20 years perspective, what could happen and what we must take into account when discussing the future ideas. So you can see here that we had 2 futures workshops as innovation seminars, and then all the best ideas were shortlisted and taken to further development in the project in different work packages, and also pilots were decided in the actual first seminar. The objective of work package 5, of course, then you can read it from all the manuals, to create powerful processes for innovation activities in the project, and to stimulate fresh ideas on knowledge-intensive products and services for the project, on complex issues such as mobile and user-oriented information products and services, telecommunication services, user interfaces, logistic solutions, software development and networking options. That is a very, very long sentence, but there were lots of things that we had in mind. Well, we were using a method that is called charrette. The method is something that is has been explained and developed by a global think tank called Millennium Project, now around the world, working for more than 10 years, producing global understanding of where we are now and what is happening in the future when discussed with all the experts, thousands of experts around the world. And this project has this idea, this charrette, that is actually, the idea is here that we have 2 plenary meetings where we have these innovation processes, and then between those, that we have 1 year apart, between those there is then local and focus groups working with the actual ideas. So it's a 5-phase method, and we followed that method all throughout the project. When one is brainstorming, and then of course there has to be interactive working with people and different kind of people together, and there's a very important prerequisite is to step on the edge of your comfort zone. That means that you are able to open your own paradigm, open your own understanding, and free and willing to share with other people and interact with other people. And the power of group work is of course there, and that you can get new understanding and new ideas from the crisscross. The actual stages how the brainstorming and idea creation happens is the brainstorming, where the idea creation happens as such in a discussion, which is guided by a process engineer that knows how to do it. Then there's a grouping of ideas. If there are similar ideas, these can be grouped and put together and get a new understanding of the idea. Might be very complex, so it needs different points of view. And then there's an evaluating phase where the ideas are ranked according to individual preferences through deliberation. This means that people discuss the ideas and give more understanding to that idea. So it's not a question of independent polling like when you go to elect your politicians. But this is about deliberation. It's a deliberative poll, as is the actual word. And of course it means that you have to be able to think outside the box of your own thinking. And this is something that you can learn while doing it a lot. And you can think that as a metaphor, as a Rubik's Cube, in a way, that when you are innovating complex issues, you need unexpected cross-association of diverse expertise and approaches. So like, for example, we had in all these processes, we have 35 people from different expertise of areas of expertise, as you can see. So the brainstorming gathers together different understandings and puts it in one innovation, and that this is the way how the complexity can be handled. The two seminars that we had, the first seminar was in Prague, and we had 33 partners and 3 steering committee members and some info project members. And we did some basketing. This is our new slogan, that basketing ideas mean that we put them in different baskets and how they fare. The second seminar was held in Dubrovnik, and there were 25 members of the consortium and 7 auto experts and a special evaluation expert. That was the only task that he had, was to evaluate the process, evaluate the work we were doing. And here we took the futures approach, using the Millennium Project scenarios for 2030, to see 3 different kind of alternative futures. Environmental backlash, these are the names for the scenarios, high-tech economy with a technology push, or a political turmoil type of work. And these were then discussed together. And of course, when dealing with futures and alternatives, you need to have an understanding of basic assumptions, what we think that will be valid and will go on, what is the things that will be on 2030. So we had some of others ideas that we have a GPS system in Europe, it's a Galileo, for example. We have the climate change situation, it's worse than, or rather than better, and so on. And of course, there should be also understanding of wildcards, which are things that may disturb our understanding, disturb our understanding of the future, and turn the wheel, like for example the 9/11 happened or something of all the sorts. And these we are then taken into account. Then the first seminar was, these are the results of the first seminar. There were 7 service ideas, there was modeling ideas, and there were general development ideas. For example, what I think is an interesting one is to stay home. So we have to take also a understanding of what if we stay home instead of going to the traffic. So what are the impacts of people staying home rather than trafficking? So you need to make research on that as well. So what is also important in this particular seminar, we then found the 4 pilots that you already heard. In the second seminar, then we took the futures approach, and we then had 5 or 6 ideas that we thought that were good. Just to say that semi-public transport, Dyna-Mobi, no-man driving, autonomous driving, for example, that has been tried already. Waste to energy, bio-waste used as energy for cars, and it's very interesting. We could even do that today if we wanted to, and so on. So all the time we had this understanding and discussion of what is a radical innovation. What is radical to one can be not radical to another. And this, of course, a question of expertise. But there are radical things that are radical to everybody. I think, like, for example, this one. You have an edible prefab home. You can grow your own home, live in it and eat it. And this has been done in MIT, of course, wherever. And then in the end, of course, the dissemination details in this, we have been telling about the information seminar, documentation and abstracts in different conferences, and I'm using this material when I'm teaching high-ranking officers in National Defense University, for example, and then writing articles and so on, so forth in Survec and everywhere. But Survec is very important for us because the Finnish meteorologists have been in the group actually putting it on the agenda. Long time ago, actually in the early 80s. And of course, this material was used also in another EU project called Galileo Cast. And I think that concludes my speech. Thank you. Thank you, Auli. Are there any questions about how to make innovations? You mentioned this radical innovation, and okay, maybe we didn't make any radical innovation. We don't know, because the problem with radical innovations is that when it's made, somebody tells you something. It's an innovation that definitely you think, oh, that's a stupid idea.
they are always too much ahead of their time if they are really radical. And it usually takes 10 or 20 years until it's like SMS is a good example.
If I can comment, then tomorrow we will try this type of innovation creation. If you are here in the afternoon, then you can be with us and interact with us and see yourself how it could be done. So we will show you this method.
And if you are able to create radical innovation, your name will stay in history, so remember this. Okay, thank you, Auli.